Hey, welcome to another edition of the Retail Sales Motivation Podcast. I'm your host and sales coach, Baraka, and this podcast is for all of you retail sales warriors out there working hard to turn every interaction into a sweet payday. This week, we are discussing staying focused on the main thing. The main thing for you is to get the customer to buy, period. Now, I know you're out there saying, duh, of course, but are you really focused on that? How often are you getting distracted by all of the other things that come into play in your day-to-day work environment? Are you getting distracted with like whatever the current offer is, or whatever the current contest is, or whatever the current activity that management needs you to accomplish? Whatever metric that they're looking at and they're needing you to, boost up. Are you focused on that when you're talking with your customer? Or are you focused on the primary purpose for your entire existence in that building, which is to take their money in exchange for product? If you're focused on the thing that is most important, then you will be able to filter out and discern what things you need to make sure that you are, bringing up with your customer and is part of your presentation and a part of your entire conversation, or if it's something that, hey, I need to deal with that, but maybe not at this point. I'll need to deal with it at this other point. That's where you will find you are losing money. It's because you are distracted. Stay focused. Now, I will tell you that one of the best ways to keep the focus on the main thing, it's to write orders down. If you are in an environment where you are not creating some kind of order as you go along, like maybe a jewelry store where you're just, pulling out rings and other beautiful shiny things, earrings and things, and letting the customer look at them and feel them and try them on, stuff like that. But perhaps, you're not necessarily writing orders down at that point. I would strongly, strongly urge you to implement for yourself some kind of writing down of the wish list or the order or the, whatever you want to call it, the price quote, as you're going along. That is a very powerful tool, not only for you to keep you focused on the main thing, but it also helps the customer stay focused on the main thing. When they see you writing things down and checking back with them on what you're writing down, that is critical. If you've been to a restaurant, which I'm sure you have, you know that when you're giving your order to the server and you're just kind of, discussing it, maybe going back and forth with maybe the person that you're having the meal with, and you're like, should I get this? Should I get this? Should I get this? You're not so concerned about getting the order right until you see the server start writing it down, right? When they're writing down that you want the steak and the, potatoes, but you don't want sour cream on the potatoes, you do want extra cheddar and chives on it, and you want the steak medium rare, you want to see the server writing that down, right? That is specific. It's important to you that they get this right. And them writing it down is your signal that they will hopefully get it right, because they're not relying on their own memory. They're documenting what you're saying to them. Same thing in your industry, okay? In your business. When you start writing those things down that the customer is saying, or the customer is looking at, or the customer is indicating that they like, that is a signal to the customer that, okay, this person is taking me seriously and is interested in my business and will be prepared at the end of this conversation to complete this transaction. Okay, that's why you want to write things down. So now, if you are, for example, in the furniture industry, like, I sell furniture, right? So in my store, in my company, we use price quotes or floor sales orders, FSOs. And so the salesperson, the home furnishing consultant, as they're walking with the customer, they're, selecting on their iPad, the items that the customer is interested in. They're building, at least at that point, a wish list of what the customer would like, uh, customizing it for color and configuration and all that good stuff, checking stock and everything, just making sure that everything is being memorialized as they go. Then at the end, they then have a conversation with the customer about what's on that price quote. Right? Okay, hey, you said you wanted this, 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 and this. And then that gives the customer the opportunity to refine or expand on their previous selections, right? To correct the record in case something is wrong. No, remember, I didn't want that color. I wanted that color. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you for reminding me. Boom, right? All of those things. It's a trigger for the salesperson to be able to then add items to suggest things because they're seeing what the customer is looking at. Like, okay, we looked at this bedroom set, we looked at this living room set, we looked at this dining room set. We need a mattress and adjustable base for that bedroom set. We don't have one on this price quote. Let's walk over there and take a look at those items. These are the things that keep the conversation moving in the right direction. These are the things that keep everyone focused on the task at hand. If you're just walking around willy-nilly with the customer and you are, let's say you're even jotting down what the customer wants, but you haven't gotten their name and all the other information that would be necessary to complete the order, apps, besides credit card information or financing information, if you haven't at least gotten their name and phone number and address and things like that during this presentation, during the conversation, before you get to the closing at the end of it, then you're missing out on an opportunity to reinforce in the customer's mind that they will be buying. Okay? That's what that does. When they give you their name, address, phone number, email address, they're indicating to you that, hey, if this goes well, I'm prepared to buy now. If they give you resistance on giving you their name, address, phone number, then what that tells email address, then what that tells you is that, okay, either A, they are not prepared to buy today, or B, they just don't trust you enough with that information. Usually it's B. Most salespeople think usually it's A, but that's not true. It's usually B. Usually they'll be willing to buy. They can be convinced to do something. Maybe they were planning on shopping around all day, but hey, if you give them the right, product with the right time frame and the right at the right price, they're willing to finalize with you right then. So if they are not giving you their information, it's because, hey, I don't really know you. I don't trust you that you're really looking out for me yet. I don't trust that you have my best interest in heart yet. I don't trust you to not try to swindle me by jacking up the price or bait and switching me with availability or any number of things, right? You need to be prepared if they're pushing back on just the basics of name, address, phone number, right? Then okay, you've got to work more on building rapport, on building a relationship with them so that they will trust you enough to give you just this basic personal information, right? And then you got to kind of wonder, how is it that you don't even know their name, right? Did they not give you their name as you've been walking around with them, right? Like, what are you doing? And if you're having trouble getting that kind of information from your customers, that's you. That's not the customers. Oh, they're just, not buying today, and oh, they're just, uh, kicking tires today, or they're just, shopping around today. No, it's you. Sorry to be the one to tell you. It's you. You have to get better at building relationship and rapport with the customer to the point where they're willing to give you just that basic information. Once you have that information documented, they know that, okay, when the time comes, they're prepared to, you know, help me complete this transaction. And you know that, okay, if nothing else, I have the information I need to follow up with this person if they end up not buying. If I end up not doing a good enough job to get them to buy now and they end up walking so that they can, shop around and they've got this price quote in their hands, I know that I've at least done enough that I have increased the likelihood that they will come back and ask for me, hopefully, right? But at least your odds are better if you've created that price quote or, just, jotted down on a piece of paper what they're interested in, however your company industry system works. But staying focused on the main thing, which is moving this transaction along to its conclusion, which is the purchase, right? It's the transaction, the exchange of money for the item or the item's order, right? That you're going to order the item for them. And that money is going to be either out of their pocket or financing, right? But that's where the conversation has to end. That's where it has to go. And if you're not getting enough people there, then that's you. You need to work on developing your skills so that you can get to that point properly and effectively and frequently. All right. So stay focused on the important thing. Keep the majors, and keep the minors the minors. Okay. That's what my mom used to always tell me. Focus on the main thing and keep the main thing the main thing. Have a great week.
If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time and your peace and your sleep for it, if all that you dream and scheme is about it, and life seems useless and worthless without it, if you'll gladly sweat for it and fret for it and plan for it and lose all your terror of the opposition for it, and if you simply go after that thing that you want with all of your capacity, strength and sagacity, faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity, if neither cold poverty, nor famine, nor gout, nor sickness, nor pain, nor body, nor brain can keep you away from that thing that you want, if dogged and grim you besiege and beset it, with the help of God, you'll get it.